What's up Louis, it's guys here, hope you're doing great. In this video I'm going to talk about why I prefer to use the bank's money to buy property in South Africa. I previously made a video about why I think buying property with cash isn't always the best idea. I received some positive feedback and of course some bad ones as well, which is totally okay because everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I'm always open to other people's opinion and I'm willing to learn everywhere that I can. People very often think that buying a property with cash automatically makes it a good investment because at the end of the month your cash flow will be more, or the money that you will receive in your pocket is more. But the fact of the matter is, just because your cash flow is more doesn't make it a better deal. I'm going to show you guys a practical example of buying a property with cash and buying a property with leverage and compare the return on investment with each other. Something I want to add is if you had the cash to buy properties cash, you would probably buy them cash. Most people in South Africa unfortunately don't have massive cash piles to just buy properties cash all the time. Unfortunately, majority of South Africans struggle to get disposable income and struggle to save up money to eventually buy property. The reason why I like using leverage is because it's available for every South African. No matter what your education, what your background, whether you were raised by rich or middle class parents, you have the opportunity to invest in property when using leverage. So you don't have an excuse to build wealth for yourself because you don't have the cash. If you understand the principles of using leverage, you can use it as a tool and play the money game like the bank plays it. Property itself is generally quite easy to master if you understand the 5 principles that I like to focus on, especially if you are a beginner. First, you need to have a good credit score with good affordability. You need a good or stable income. You need disposable income or some sort of savings. You also need to make sure you buy the properties in the right structures, and of course you need to buy the right type of deals. Again, not all property is a good investment. Most people will get stuck on the idea of using leverage means that you have to pay the bank so much more interest than the cost of the original loan. Sometimes you pay double or even triple the amount you lent from the bank. But I just want to clarify, on this channel and in this video, I talk about investment properties, not about your primary residence. If you want to buy your primary residence with leverage, yes, you will be the guy paying the interest to the bank. You are the tenant in that property. You are the one that needs to make the monthly payments, and therefore you are the one effectively paying the interest. For investment properties, you have a tenant that pays you a monthly rental amount. You pay all of your expenses, including interest, every month, and at the end of that month you have cash flow left which you can use to grow your portfolio. So it's important to understand that using leverage means that you will pay interest, but at the end of the day your tenant is the one making the payment and you pay the bank with their rental income. I'm going to show you a quick example of a typical property investment that I will buy using cash compared to using leverage. So at the top we can see the property value and the purchase price. It was listed for 850, we paid 750, meaning we have a 100,000 Rand equity position, and we are going to work with a rental income of 21,640 Rand. This is a student accommodation deal, so obviously this is the easiest way to increase your rental income with multi-let type strategies. With that said, the bond on this property will be 7,823 Rand, levies 1,300, rates and taxes 1,170. The commission is 10% of the income, and we also include a 2-month vacancy, which I will explain in just a moment, we have Wi-Fi cost as well as water and electricity, and at the end of the month this property is going to cost us 15,227 Rand. If we scroll down and we look at the cash flow that this property provides on a monthly basis, it's going to be 6,413 Rand. But we obviously need to account for the 2 vacant months of the student accommodation. So that means that in a month, this property will provide a 3,312 Rand cash flow position. It basically just means this is the cash flow that you will receive over 10 months and not over 12 months. The only money that we had to invest in this deal is the bond and transfer cost as well as renovation cost. So we had to obviously renovate the property, buy stoves, washing machines, tables, couches, fridges, desk chairs, trash bins, etc. And at the end of the day, the money that I had to pay in this deal is 125,700 Rand. And what we do to get to our return on investment, we divide our yearly cash flow with our money invested, which gives us a total return on investment of 32%. This is an excellent return on investment comparing to your traditional type investments. So ideally, this is the type of deals that you need to buy using leverage. So let's use the exact same example, but do the calculations if we had to buy it cash. So obviously our bond amount will fall away. Then, of course, our deposit is going to be 750,000 Rand. The only cost we'll have to pay is transfer cost and no bond registration cost, which is an estimate of 26,000 Rand. That puts the total cash down at 776,000 Rand. Then, of course, we still need to renovate the property. That means that the total money that we put down in this deal is going to be 851,700 Rand, which gives us a return on investment of 16%. Again, because this is a great deal on its own, the return on investment is really quite good. But just hear me out, because this return on investment has basically reduced from 32% to 16% because we have more of our own money invested in this deal. By all means, if you can find deals like this, you can go ahead and buy them cash. But most of the time, people buy properties cash, which gives them a really bad return on investment. Normally, when that property is leveraged, it's a negative return, and they think buying it cash automatically makes it a good investment, which gives them a return on investment of 6 or hopefully even 7%. It's important to understand that leverage is like a double-edged sword. It can either work really well for you or it can make you go bankrupt. If you are not financially literate to understand how to grow your portfolio, starting with the 5 basic principles I mentioned, you probably need to focus on your personal finances first. If you do not have disposable income, or if you do not have a decent credit score, you need to focus on working on your personal finances before you consider investing in any type of asset class. Traditionally, people will say that you need to buy with cash because debt is bad. And yes, consumer debt itself is really bad. I'm totally against consumer debt like car debt, personal loans, credit cards, clothing accounts, etc. These are all bad debt. But understanding how the money game works and how super successful people leverage other people's money to buy assets that can generate cash flow so that they can use the cash flow to buy more assets, that's how it works. That's how the banks make money, and you can participate in this game and also make good money. Again, no matter what your age, what your background is, you can build a successful future for yourself if you understand how leverage works. It's an easy way to elevate your property investment game.